Hi, we're behind the scenes here at Judging Weekend. We're at David Morris Studios. You can see we got a lot of the work set out. It's a 2.5-day process and we're halfway through. Last year we had over 1,200 entries into the competition, making it the largest competition in the United States. This year we have about 100 or 120 more than we had last year even. So we're thinking this year we'll have the most entries once again. That really makes for a very crowded weekend because we've only got 2.5 days to do the entire competition. So we have 24 volunteers coming in to help us out. We've got 5 judges that we bring in from places like New York, Dallas, Chicago. And then we've got to keep it running all weekend. We start Friday about noon setting up. We run all day Saturday. We start at like 8 in the morning and we can run till 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Then we come back in Sundays and try to finish up by about 2 o'clock or so. And it's a lot of things to a lot of balls to keep in the air because we have so many entries that we're constantly turning rooms out. We set up a lot of tables, and once the judges get through one room, we send them to another room, tear down, set up, and there's just constant motion going on. We actually start working on finding our judges in October because we know it's going to take a few months. And what we do is we look for judges who have judged in other competitions, who have a lot of experience. And part of it is that we're trying to find judges from different parts of the country that represent different areas. We always want to have one or two that have a lot of experience in multimedia. We want to pull from East Coast, we want to pull from West Coast. We want to make sure that we're representing the ad community as well as we can, and that's kind of hard to do in just 5 people to make that happen. So we start calling around, and it's a long process. You call lots of different judges trying to find who just the right ones are. And our judges this year are Leo Arroyo from Chopping Block in New York City, Joanne Kim, Marcus Thomas, Cleveland, Rich Proud from MTV in New York City, Mike Heller, Power Pack, Dallas, and Josh Powers, Richards Carlberg, Houston. What happens is they come in, we fly them in by about noon or so, get them settled in, but then about 2 they start judging all the broadcasts. We bring in the TV, we bring in the radio, and we just lock them up in a room and they just sit there and watch all the different things that we have. While they're doing that, we've got 20 people or so here at David Morris Studios setting up the tables, getting all the entries ready, because Friday is all about broadcast, Saturday is all about print, and then on Sunday we go back through and pick the best of categories based on how they scored it. So Sunday ends up being a lot of debating because Friday and Saturday they're doing the stuff individually, but then Sunday is when they have to all sit down and agree what's best of print, what's best of broadcast, for example, and then they have to do best of show. And so that's why we have to leave all of Sunday morning for that, because once you start debating, it takes a long time to judge the stuff. So for this weekend to happen, we bring in 2-3 dozen volunteers to put this all together. They come in shifts, and what happens a lot of times, they'll come in for just a few hours to help, and then they'll end up staying all day because they just get into the excitement of it. You're setting the work out, and it's really fun to see the work before it's judged, to see what kind of stuff's out there. I find what happens to a lot of the volunteers is they realize how much good work we really have in Kansas City. Because when you can just lay it out on table after table and just walk through and check it out, many people are amazed when they come in. They can't believe that we create so much of this kind of work. But like I said, with volunteers, we have 2-3 dozen, all ad club members. They come in early morning, late night, whenever we need them. Basically, we just kind of feed them a bunch of candy and coffee and, kind of get them hyped up a little bit, and that keeps the energy going and getting all this done. It's been a crazy weekend, lots of work, but it's been well worth it. We want to thank all of our judges and our volunteers for helping us out. We want to thank David Morris Studios for allowing us to come in here and destroy a studio so that we can do all this judging. And if you don't like the results, I wasn't here.